What's going on, people of the world? Welcome back to the show. I am Kyle Spain of Mental Warfare, and yet again, I am with my right hand, Sean Helen of the Release Valve. How's it going, my man?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and you know what? The enemy tried to throw me off today. He tried to prevent me from coming on today. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting because we ended up here because God is great, and I just thought of being an opportunity considering that a couple of things fell through, right? And just thinking about today, and I'm just going it all in, right?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, I had a couple of breakthroughs, man, and this is a great opportunity for me to reveal. I was talking to my spiritual mentor yesterday. I wasn't having the greatest day mentally, and he always pops in at the most perfect time. At least
Your mentor does?
yeah. He's a blessing that God has sent for me, has sent to me, and when I'm very grateful to have him in my corner. I can be very vulnerable with him. It's a very safe place with him. And like I said, he always pops up, sends me a message or something of some sort at the perfect time. It's not like we talk every day, but it's just like God always knows, when I need, some guidance, And so, yesterday was an opportunity for me to get something off my chest, and I wrote a blog about it. And it's called "I Have a Problem Too." And I realized when we started this podcast, this journey, right, of trying to become our best selves and trying to connect with the world, telling our stories and stuff like that, trying to get other people to tell their story, and wanting them to heal, or just them to start the process of their healing process. And I realized that that I had some truth that I needed to get out into the world, in order for me to feel okay in my heart, I guess, to feel to allow that bridge, to allow that door to be open for everybody else, right? And I can't be trying to ask everybody else to tell their story when I still have some truth that I needed to be told. And I was able to tell my spiritual mentor about this yesterday for the first time, of actually just coming out and being able to admit it to myself. And the story starts back in 2010, when I went to Belgium.
Okay.
And Belgium's a very big beer. It's like beer city, right? It's a very
I've heard that.
big drinking city. And I was dealing with insomnia at the time, and my teammate was like, he had told me, he was like, yeah, I have a couple of beers a night, and of course we can tell where this is going, but he's like, yeah, I had a couple of beers a night, and like to help me sleep. And I'm like, all right, cool, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like when that habit started, right? And so it started, like when the beer in Belgium is magnificent. It's not
Strong,
trash,
too.
right? It's strong and like legit, right? And that's
Like
what they
the
do
weak
out
stuff is like 13%.
there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, something like that. I mean, that's still pretty strong, but but no, that's what they do out there, man. Like they have bars inside of the gyms. You go to a gym like 24 Hour Fitness,
Wow.
or whatever gym, Gold's Gym, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You go into the gym, and instead of a snack bar, it's a real bar, and people go in there, and
Wow.
they're getting their Stella Artois, you know what I'm saying, and so they're doing their thing, man.
Yeah.
So it's an actual thing. So it's an easy habit to fall into,
Yeah.
because they, it's something
It's
that
part
they
of the
actually give you.
culture.
Right, it is part of the
Everybody's
culture. It's
doing
actually,
it. It's just
Right.
natural.
Yeah, exactly. And they give it to you after the games too. Like, they even give it to you like if you need to take a drug test, like so you can pee. Like they give you some, like they come in with they literally come in with trays of like little
Having trouble
glasses of beer.
peeing.
Yeah,
Need some
for
beer.
real, it's hilarious. Right? And so
That's funny.
that habit kind of like stayed with me, throughout my career, and it was never really a problem. But looking in hindsight, it probably, reduced my performance to some degree, right? And it was definitely, looking in hindsight, it was definitely a hindrance, and still is a hindrance. And it wasn't until, I started this journey of trying to, after going through the fire, right, and starting this journey of self-development, and, you know, starting the podcast and doing all this, right, just feeling really connected to this, you know, and even, you know, on the physical side of it, you know, that's what what the quest is about, you know, self-development in all areas, you know, physically and mentally, cognitively, you know, just trying to build knowledge, trying to get my body into a position to where, you know, I know it could have been, or basically trying to see where it could have been had I done it right. And so, you know, still, you know, letting distractions like everyone else in the world bother me. You know, it's an everyday battle. You know, a couple of beers a night would be the go-to for me to, you know, take that edge off. You know, It was also something that I share with my wife as well. So it's kind of like just been this habit for 13 years now. Yeah. And, you know, I finally noticed that it started like, you know, hindering my growth, right? It started, it's like I described in the blog, it's like I built this speedboat, right? You know, I put all these pieces of the boat, you know, together, and it's operational, capable of high speeds. But for some reason, but I got this anchor that I've thrown on the back. I got this anchor on the back, and I'm trying to max out the speed. But this anchor's only allowed me to go 40 instead of 60, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and so like I would kind of like make excuses for it. It's not. I wasn't not an alcoholic or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with like or excessive drinking and stuff. It's just been a habit of mine that I've established a long time ago. That I finally noticed that it was like, okay, I'm like it's a little bit harder to break than I thought it was, you know, considering that it continues to happen, right? And I've always kind of covered it up and used the excuse of well, I'm not an alcoholic, I don't have a real problem. 2 beers,
like,
a few beers.
I know alcoholics. Okay. Trust me, I'm not an alcoholic. Like,
exactly.
You know, like you always, So I've seen people stumbling all over the place. Like I'm not that, so I'm not an alcoholic. Not really thinking about the levels to alcoholism.
Exactly, because there are levels to it, right? Yeah. And I'm on a certain level, even though it's a level I feel like that's low, it's still hindering my growth. And you know, it's been a part of my journey to, you know, start building the structure and building a balance, right? A balance with everything, because you overdo anything, you know, it causes overusing anything is unhealthy. Right. And so,
too much of anything is bad for you. You know, too much sleep is bad for you.
Yes.
Too much food is bad for you. Like
well
anything.
Said. Right. Yeah. And so I noticed it actually when we first got on with Justin, and, you know, we were talking about alcoholism, and, you know, I was like, damn, you know, I was thinking about, you know, his story and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, it was in the back of my mind. I was thinking, I was like, oh, I mean, shit. I mean, well, you're not.
Story sounds a little familiar.
Yeah, but it's like, but it is like, it was like, wait, hold on, like, you know, I mean, I started feeling like, okay, it is starting to become a little bit of a problem. It wasn't something that I didn't address until yesterday, right? And so I was actually able to tell Matt is his name. I'm like, man, like I've got everything. It's like I got all the pieces together, you know, except one. You know, I was just like, I feel like I've got it. I've got to a point to where I finally have figured it out, and I know what I need to do to put it all together. And just this one little habit that I have has been lingering and kind of holding me back. And I actually admitted it. You know, I expressed that, you know, to him in a way that I haven't expressed to anybody before, and it allowed me to express it again to a colleague of mine, and now again on here. And it was so healing, right? You know, like what Barry talked about, you know, that revealing.
Can't heal what you don't reveal.
Man, you can't heal what you don't reveal. And it's like that, like we talked about with the garden, and I'm going to post the quote next week. But you can't nourish your garden if you don't remove the weeds. And and that's basically what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? I have to remove the weeds, and the weeds are all the distractions that are holding us back from being our great selves. And, you know, that habit was one of them. And it was like, it was something that I didn't want to admit to myself, even though I knew it, you know what I'm saying? And actually, like, knowing it and actually admitting it is two different things, bro. You know, 100%. Like, yeah, man, it's something entirely different, man. And it was like, wow, now I feel like, because I feel like, you know, I feel like I haven't been able to connect with the world in the way that I wanted to connect with them because of this burden, you know. And now I've finally been able to release it, and because I felt like I released it, I felt like I was in the opportunity today, you know, to talk to a colleague of mine, and you know, she was going through some things, and she gave me permission to talk about it. Of course, I'm not going to say her name, but it led into to having a conversation with her. I was at the Y, writing on the blog, and you know, she walked over and was like, "Oh, what are you writing on?" And I was like, "Oh, like my blog or whatever." She was like, "What's it about?" Right? And this is, like we talked about, nothing happens, on accident, right? There's no coincidence. Yep. Everything happened for a reason. So I was like, wow, well, actually, I'm writing about myself, basically, and it's basically called like I have a problem too. And I started explaining to her, and that was earlier today, actually. I was able to, it was the second time I was able to reveal a problem that I had that I was like shameful I was ashamed, right? And so I was able to release and reveal to her what I was ashamed of, and being able to actually talk about it, and just feeling so free, just being able to express that, and just feeling so much better. And there's so many layers to a person, bro. Like there's so many layers. I mean, even to getting to know yourself, right? We're born into this world just not having a manual to life, but we don't even have the manual to our own selves, because there's a manual to our own. We have a manual to our own identity, right? To what Sean likes, what Kyle's like. That's how we figure out what we don't and don't like, with foods and like the places we go to, what makes us happy, what doesn't make us happy. That's all by experience, right? It's not something that we know in the beginning until it's been experienced. And so it's the same thing with this knowledge thing, man. Like when this journey of self-development, it's the same thing. Like you reach new levels of growth, and there's just so much shit that we all suppress and that we bury deep inside of us. It really becomes an infestation, bro. It really becomes the poison and the real distraction in our lives, and a lot of us aren't aware of it.
Well, that's that unconscious incompetence, right? You don't know what you don't know. A lot of people blissfully unaware of the issues that they have, or the things that they carry from, like we said before, usually from a young age. The way that they carry it, they don't even realize that the way that they carry these certain things is affecting how they address other things, now in the future, type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's all simply based off of you formed an opinion or a point of view based off of something that happened, and then that was your standpoint. And then so from that point on, whenever anything came across you that was remotely like that was your standpoint on it, and that's how you viewed things, and that's how you approached things, that's how you reacted to things, was that from that standpoint. So a lot of times, people don't even realize that they're stuck in that one state of mind.
And it's like you said, man, that people don't know what they don't know. Like even us, right? It's just like, there's always a light bulb somewhere, an idea, a brand new idea. There's always something to learn. And it's so crazy that the mindset that a lot of people are in. And I was talking to my colleague of mine, and I know just part of what she was going through, and she was able to reveal some truth to me. And she's a 23-year-old that is like going through school, studying for exams, and also having to like be a caretaker for her brother while trying to work out and work extensive hours, right? And so like I just noticed on just on her body, she was just drained and just exhausted, and just
shoulders
angry.
are a little lower, head's a little lower.
She was defeated, man, and it was so crazy because a lot of us can get in that state, and it seemed like the emotional state that she was in, that it was hard to shake off, and it just made me realize how how, man, I don't like talking about it, but how the enemy is so slick, how and so sly, and it's like I
Senses
witnessed
that
right
little
in
bit
front
of
of me.
vulnerability.
Yeah, and it
It's like,
just
let me
the
slide
whole
in there.
man. It's so crazy how, man. There was something I wanted to say before, but it's so crazy how the enemy just has all of us just defeated, bro. Like in our feelings, emotion, just on a daily basis, the distractions that we endure. Like when we receive that type of stimulus, when we go through our daily lives and things happen, the things that we can't control, right? And they happen all the time, so it's easy to fall into that trap,
It's such an easy
right?
derailment. Like
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
a strong wind, and we're just like off
yeah.
our track. Everything,
Man, and it's something that you cannot control because you're going to get knocked off, and that's inevitable, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm really just starting to become aware of like the things that are affecting my mood, and just really slowly starting, as of yesterday, even more so, was really starting to change my mind as to like how I approach things, how I respond to things, and how in an emotional state, right? And then not even just that, just like not even just dwelling on that fact either. I mean, it's not, it's easy, it's a lot easier said than done, and it's almost a level of awareness, right? But it's like I can't continue to go through this life allowing distractions, you know, hinder my
because
process.
they're
And I
everywhere
don't
all the
think,
time.
right, and I don't think I was able to get to this level of awareness until I was able to reveal my truth, right? And being able to have that conversation with my colleague and just seeing like the destruction that the enemy is causing around the world. And what I asked her when when we were having a conversation, you know, I asked her about what her dreams were, and if she had a scenario to where she could make enough money to where she was living free and happy, what would it be? And while there's nothing wrong with being a personal trainer, you know, I'm a personal trainer. You know, that's not the end all be all. That's not the future that I see for
Sure.
myself. You know, we all
Yeah.
have dreams and goals and dreams that we're actually passionate about. But the fact that a lot of us don't believe in that they're reachable is the problem. And that's why we're in a state of defeat and a state of discouragement. And life is going to hit us hard every day, and I'm aware of that. But being able to taking control of our lives and be able to know and feel in my heart, because I feel it for everyone, bro. I feel that everyone is capable of being great because we're all created in God's image, and I truly believe that in my heart. Now get into that point, you know, as they say, it's a narrow path, right? Which is why not many people can walk it. You know, I kind of envision, I kind of compare it to. Remember that? Do you ever play that app, that game Zombie Highway?
No.
Yeah, all right. So Zombie Highway is it's a car game, right? And you're on this one path, bro. This one path, and obviously you're trying to get as far as you can without the zombies throwing you off the track, right?
Okay.
So you got these zombies that like they jump on your car and they're trying to tilt your car or whatever, and you kind of got to like, you know, swerve around them. You kind of like got to knock them off, you know, so you can keep going. Eventually, the zombies end up flipping your car, and the game is over.
Gotcha.
And so I see life as that type of pathway, and I feel like, you know, a lot of us, of course, you know, the zombies are going to tilt and flip our car. I mean, that's going to happen. You know, it's just a matter, you know, of, you know, getting back up and understanding
Getting it
that
back on there and
right.
back, yeah.
And but a lot of us are unaware of the zombies that are actually flipping our car. You know, and
It's
then
driving like, what is going on? Why is my car doing this?
no, for real though, in a different way.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And a lot of people, you know, start blaming God for why they're
an
having
easy
problems in
scapegoat.
their life. It's an easy scapegoat, but I don't understand it because there's two sides of everything, right? And with my knowledge of God, and I'm continuing to learn about Him, He's all good and He does no evil. And so, what I know about the enemy, all he's trying to do is sabotage your life, trying to sabotage your path, of trying to be great. And the reason for a while a lot of us are in a depressed and, you know, angry, you know, state of mind of, because it's the cycle that we've all been through, right? It's the programming that we have, right? It's just like, how do we, like we talked about, We don't know what we don't know. This goes how we responded to things. It's what we saw when we were little, and this is what it was, and this is how we dealt with things, and not understanding, the spiritual, background behind all of it. Because I'm spiritual, and a lot of people may not be, but for me, I just don't feel. I'm at a point to where like it's physical for me, and so it's real life, and I see the enemy just throwing me off my track and holding me back from trying to be the best person could be, and it was the beer habit was an example of that, right? And me being able to express that and come to my senses and being able to reveal that and express my truth has allowed me to open up, it has allowed me to see a lot more of what's actually going on, and it really blows my mind. And the young adults as well, like, I fear for, our generation and our kids and the generation that's coming up, just because of all of the chaos that's going on. A buddy of mine, a guy that I was training, was talking about person that goes to one of his kids' school, his son's school. He's like a sophomore and junior, right? They're in high school, and there was really, besides this is talking about the LGBTQ, is that it, community? Please forgive me if I said it wrong. I don't mean no disrespect, but there was a person that was kind of confused about what they wanted to be, like whether they wanted to be a girl or a boy. And I think that, like, that's such a crazy place to be in mentally, and having that type of confusion within, right? And it's just like, how
especially at a young age.
Yeah, man. And like, it's like the demons that we deal with as a kid, and not even knowing that what we're dealing with can be so detrimental to, our mental health as in our adulthood, and you can see it. And I'm just grateful for to be in a position to know that this is the place that where we need to be, bro, and just having this connection and being able to talk about these type of things, because it's so real out there, and people don't know their identities, and they're offing themselves, and leaving their families behind, and now their families are brokenhearted, and they're depressed, and like that whole cycle continues only because we can't find a way to be happy. Like, it's like this world of competition and of envy, and I'm like, he's got this and she's got that, and I'm not good enough. Yeah, I'm not good enough. And then once that doubt like sets in, man, it's hard to shake off. And I saw it firsthand. And we know it's crazy, because we are, as a people, as a human race, like, we are believing by seeing, right?
Yeah.
And so, faith is
well, that's that big issue, I think, with most people when you're referring to spirituality or religion or anything like that. The people that try to dive into it, that don't have any experience with it, they see other people, like somebody that's not very spiritual may have listened to that Barry episode, right, and heard that this dude just straight up spoke to God, and God answered, gave him these signs like immediately, and so they're gonna run out and say, okay, God, like, I need, my family's struggling, I need $1 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they don't get $1 million, and they're like, I fucking knew you weren't real. And it's like,
right. And
they get so angry when they don't get those responses that they're looking for, not realizing that there's a process to everything that we do, right?
Wow, absolutely.
There's a process. So there are certain steps that you have to take in order to get to where you need to be, right? You can't just be standing in one spot screaming at your destination saying, why am I not there? You got to, again, take those steps. So for people that, may not know about the spiritual aspect of it, and I'm not the person to speak on how to get into that, but it's maybe take a baby step into it type of thing. Maybe start having these conversations with people. I'm not saying dive into church or whatever.
Yeah, but learn a little bit more about what's going on. Learn a little bit.
Yeah, familiarize yourself a little bit. What you don't play a game without learning the rules, right? So learn the rules of it a little bit. Learn those steps that you need to take before you start having those type of conversations, or before you start having those type of reactions to not getting what you want, or not getting what you were looking for, or not getting things the way that you thought that you would get it, or whatever it is. And then again, finding that easy scapegoat like God. Like you know, I prayed to him and he didn't answer, and now my life's worse because of it. You know, it doesn't work that way.
Man, I literally witnessed it in front of my eyes. I literally witnessed the enemy frame God and literally watch that person like stray away from God. You know what I'm saying? Just like, because I mean, spiritual or not, there's happiness and there's sadness. Okay? And that's the best way that I can explain it, like on a non-spiritual, well, not the best way, but probably the most basic way I can explain it on a non-spiritual level. And there's no one in this world that can tell me that I mean, there's the people that would rather be angry just because they've been like some really tough times, right? And there's those people that they're programmed to be that, because, you know,
not everybody is dealt the same hand, man.
Exactly.
And some people
right?
get a horrible shake at that dice, man, and it comes out crazy for them.
If I'm gonna ask X amount of people, I'm gonna bet on the fact that they'd rather be happy than to be sad, right? Or to be mad, right? And for that, it's like, it's a no-brainer for me. And going back to talking about God and people blaming God, is so crazy, because everyone always talk about God and his existence, but then we don't understand that there's an opposition. I feel like we've talked about this before, but there's an enemy as well. He's the reason as to why we get into the moods and we're fighting ourselves or fighting other people in the first place. And the reason why we're in a bad situation in the first place, and then instead of blaming him, we're blaming God, and then but it's the enemy's tricks of pulling us away from God and not being able to be our best selves. Because, I mean, think about it. I mean,
yeah, that is funny, right? Why do people, when something bad goes on, or, you know, something bad happens to them, or, you know, something negative goes on, they get mad at God instead of the devil, instead of, you know what I mean? Instead of looking down and being like, you know, what the fuck, bro? Right,
like,
yeah. Then you gotta look up and be angry.
Yeah, exactly.
That is funny.
Exactly. And, you know, I learned most recently that, you know, we're being tested, but it's not a test from God, man. It's the enemy testing our faith of God. You know, how easy or in what way
could be
can
seen
he
both
manipulate?
ways.
Yeah, I mean, how do you mean?
I mean, again, you know, I'm not the person to be coming on here and talking about
it's all good.
What God does and doesn't do, but you know, I also believe that, you know, you kind of need to not necessarily prove yourself to him, but
absolutely,
you kind of need to open yourself up a little bit. You know,
absolutely, of course, he's not going to come. That's what I can see what you mean on both ways, for sure.
You know what I mean?
And, yeah, I for sure know what you mean, because it's like, I believe that he'll let things happen. You know, I mean, he's not going to save everybody, especially
how are you going to respond to this?
Right. You know, like, so, but he doesn't do any ill will, which is where I'm going with it, right? He doesn't do any dirt. He's the same. He's love and peace. But definitely, I can see what you mean by the both ways, for sure.
Right.
The enemy testing you, he letting it happen, see how you'll handle it, because, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I can't go through life without God, because there's too many burdens for me to try and handle on my own. And, you know, when we have those burdens, they're distractions, and those distractions hinder us from being our best self. So, like, I made a decision today, like, especially after seeing the impact that is going around, that's happening in front of my face, right? You know, because, I mean, you can hear about it, man, but, like, experiencing is two different things. And a lot of us are hard-headed, you know, even for myself, like, it's like, okay, well, that happened to that person. We don't have that realization of that can possibly happen to me too, and then taking accountability and acting on that. Where it's like, well, we're in the state of mind to where it's like, well, it didn't happen to me, so I mean, can it happen to me? Like, I don't know. And I feel like we're all of us. And I feel like a lot of us are in that state of mind, even when we're dealing with time. You know, like, I mean, we all take time for granted. We all do. We all take time for granted, and it's not until a close one or a loved one, something happens in our lives and they end up passing away, to where now we're realizing how short time actually.
Surreal moment.
Right, you get that experience.
It just feels weird, like they're gone, or or that just happened. Like I didn't think that could happen to me, type of thing.
Right, it's something that people have to feel physically to really understand that. All right, this is actually real life. This is a reality. And we went on a tangent, and I just think that I think that is crazy. I mean, being 36, just giving my example and where I'm at, me 36, my mom passed away at 66, bro. You know what I'm saying? I fucked it off until now, 36 years. Excuse my language, people. I try not to cuss so much, but I fucked it off, right? 36 years of it, and I had to, to figure it out. And I'm blessed that I was able to figure it out, at 36. And if I'm looking at how many years I got left, and if it's where my mom left off, it's 30, then there's some shit that I got to do right now to not only live my life, but to live in a life of happiness, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the 36 years went by damn quick. You know what I'm saying? So 30 is less than 36. I'm not trying to sound funny, but like, bro, that's no time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I for myself had to continue on this path of self-development so I can live, try and live the best life that I can live. And what's crazy is not everyone like has that same vision, right? There's so many different minds in the world. We're just dealt with so many different cards. Not everyone believes that they can be great. Not everyone believes that they're capable of being great. And the enemy keeps us, in that mental state of like, I'm not good enough, and keeps us in self-doubt, and we're allowing the outside world to reassure us of those insecurities that we're having. And that's the problem, because hurt people, and that cycle continues, right? And so Johnny said I'm fat, I know that I'm fat, but Johnny said it, you know what I'm saying? So now it's really true, right? So now everyone thinks that I'm fat, right? And so then we keep that negativity and it restricts us.
You start speaking negatively about yourself because this person said it. So now, as a defense mechanism, let me say it first before somebody else says it.
Yeah.
And so when you start saying things like that more and more, your subconscious picks up on that, and then that's your natural thought and opinion and feeling, and that's what you start carrying with you. Right? That's that trauma, and that can happen at any age. That doesn't have to be when you're a kid. That could be when you're an adult too. And once you start settling into whatever that negative identity is, and you start identifying it as that, and then you start acting and reacting as that, you're at that standpoint that we were talking about earlier, right? That vantage point, or that viewpoint of just looking at everything from that one spot, and not realizing that, again, like you said, you're capable of so much more. And we all are, you know what I mean? Even for the successful people that are out there doing it, like they're capable of more, of other things, you know what I mean?
Right.
How often do you see a celebrity that, like, an actor can sing their fucking ass off, or they play the piano randomly, or you know what I mean? Or they have all these other crazy talents that people don't even know about. A lot of people are like that, man. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a showcase talent for entertainment purposes. It could just be things in life. Like, you could be really good at gardening, you could be really good at measuring things, or whatever it is. You just need to find how to apply those things to your life and start adopting them to your way of living, and then you start seeing that progression, like in your mood, because you're doing things that make you happy. You don't have to necessarily up and quit your job and go something and do something in the field that you think you're going to be passionate about. I like animals, so I went to volunteer at an animal shelter. Like, you don't need to. I mean, that's actually a pretty good example, but or you don't quit your job and go work at a zoo or something like that because you like animals, and then you find out that you hate working at a zoo,
right? Like, exactly.
Around animals.
Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's not just. Oh man, you said that so well, because I had a conversation with another colleague about that same thing. Like, they were in a field that they felt like they were servicing, and it was something that they wanted, that they were passionate about, but within the environment that they were in, it maybe wasn't that path, that maybe that wasn't the option for them. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why I
like
stopped drawing. I stopped drawing because I started looking at it as like a job. People wanted me to draw things for them and stuff like that, especially in high school. You know, people find out that you can draw. Hey, draw this for me, draw that for me. Hey, do this, you know, do that. And it turned into like a job. And people constantly saying, you should draw for a living. You should be a cartoonist. You should go do that. And I was looking at it like, so then I got to clock in and draw what somebody else is telling me to draw for a living. I was like, I don't want to do that shit, man. So I lost one of my passions in life. And you know me. I used to draw all the time. I lost one of my passions in life because I started looking at it in a negative light as something that I would end up having to do instead of it being something that I want to do. And I had the wrong mindset towards it. I didn't find different ways, like how I'm just preaching on here, right? I didn't find different ways to adapt it into my everyday life and just drawing things just because I love it. And I completely stopped doing it.
Have you thought about going on a tangent? But I love it. It's okay. Have you ever thought about what that would look like now?
I've drawn a few things here and there. Some of them comes out all right. Some of it.
I'm
my worst enemy.
It's the nitpicky.
My biggest
critique.
Exactly. Oh man, I'm horrible with it.
Yeah.
You know, because I used to be able to draw something better, so this is crap, and I'll throw it away or
Right.
whatever. Like I'm super hard on myself. I'm my own biggest critic with everything. But But you know, that was just an example of something that how easy you can let the outside variables come into your equation and change how you feel about something, right? And so I don't know, maybe that's something that I could pick back up, but just a prime example of how you can let those things take a negative effect on you. But I wanted
to go ahead.
What's that?
I just thought about this, man, and you know, I'm gonna pray on that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you do draw really well, and I feel like nowadays, and in today's day, in today's world, I feel like there's so much opportunity for you just to be able to freely draw something and be able to showcase it to the world without, you know, having that type of feedback to it. And where I'm going with this is, bro, like, I hope that you can get back to that passion, bro, because a lot of people would love to see that, just to see your style. And because I'm just speaking about like my son, like he loves to draw, and like it's already an inspiration, you know, for him, you know, to be able to see, you know, other people draw. And I know that's something like the stuff that you draw, the type of stuff that you draw is something that he'd like to try and copy, you know. So in a way of servicing and providing for, like, you know, some experience for others, like I think that'd really be dope if like you just finding a way to find that passion back and just draw what you want to draw, bro, right? And just expressing whatever you want to express through drawing, if that's a release for you.
That's how it should be. Honestly, that's how that was the mindset that I should have had from the very beginning, and not looked at it at the way that I was. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. No, absolutely. It sounds like you did. It sounds like you did. And like you said, the things that, you know, happened, the outside variables that came into the equation kind of like shifted you in a different direction and how you felt about it. And, you know,
that was my own personal like negative outlook or negative response to it. It wasn't like I had people like hanging over me, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely,
getting on me about it like that. You know what I mean? It was just I didn't like the feeling that I was starting to get, or the pressure that I was putting on myself with it, more than anything. And so it's kind of one of those things, like I folded under my own pressure. You know, anxiety. Comparing myself to other people, you know what I mean? Looking at other people's work and stuff like that. You know, it's not just with drawing, but with different aspects of life. I had a very, well, if I can't be the best at it, then I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? And instead of doing things for myself and just being the best that I can be at it, and not even realizing that just having that mindset, I would have gotten that much further than the path that I was already on, or the path that I saw myself being on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with lots of things, you know, it's you know, again, that was just an example for people, but
no, but that's the thing, and that's another example of, you know, the distractions of life that are restricting us from exploiting the skills that God has
knocking us
given
off
to
our
leverage.
path, and
You know what I'm saying? And there's so many different ways, so many different avenues, so many different distractions. There's so many different people in the world that are different with so many different things that
Yeah.
whatever that distraction looks like is going to be different from everyone else, but at the same time, very similar. And I'm just grateful again, for you, my brother, for coming on here and being able to express my truth, giving me the opportunity to express my truth and get into a new level of healing. And I just hope that we can continue to do this for more people. And to everyone listening, I hope that we can find a place in your heart to try and start healing, man. Like, because that's where it starts. Like, it's the awareness of figuring out
that self-awareness, man.
Yeah,
and I
it's
had
the
that same,
self-awareness.
that same situation with alcohol. I had I again, when I look at my own personal definition of being an alcoholic, I didn't consider myself an alcoholic, but I had a very unhealthy relationship with alcohol. And the way I went about it, same thing. The excuses that I made for it, and how I went about it, and the to the degree that I would justify it. You know what I mean? And it was like how we were just talking on our last episode, that poor me mindset, that poor me mentality type of thing, and it would be little things like, man, I lost my passion to draw, man. I'm about to have this drink. You know what I mean? Like, just an example, you know what I mean? Like, oh, these people are making me feel a certain way. I'm going to go drink. Had a bad day at work. I'm going to have a drink. I deserve that. You know what I mean? I dealt with some assholes in traffic. I'm going to go have a drink. That made me want to drink. Like, it was just like that constant, like, I earned this. You know what I mean? And same thing. It was just, I had a rude awakening. And when that hit, it was one of those, like, same thing. I had that realization of, oh man, that was not a healthy relationship with alcohol that I had going on. Like, I need to do something about that. And so same thing, I had that same struggle of, man, maybe this is a problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything that I looked at as a problem. But maybe it is, because these things are happening, and negative things are happening as a result of it. It's involved in all of these negative things that have happened. So it must have some take in it.
Yeah.
So having that realization that, how I was going about things, my mindset towards it, my actions. And when you do something for so long, again, that becomes part of your identity, right?
It becomes, your body gets used to what it gets used to.
Used to it. It's a routine.
It's a routine.
Your mind thinks about it. At times that you're not doing it, you're thinking about it, type of thing. And it doesn't have to just be alcohol. It could be anything. It could be yelling when you get upset.
Yeah.
When like every single time you get upset, you just yell, and you feel justified by doing it because they upset you. But like, you don't need to. You don't need to yell. You don't need to have that drink. You don't need to have those vices that that you have, because you have an excuse.
Right.
Like, that's not an excuse. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm at the barbecue. I gotta have a drink.
Yeah, bro. It was like, man, it's a hot day. I'm about to mow the lawn. I'm about to have a beer. Like, just because it's a hot day and I'm mowing the lawn, that's what I wanted to do. Like, little things like that. And so,
I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's about establishing a structure and having a healthy balance, man. And like you said, that too much of anything is too much, and having an excuse for why it is the issue in itself. And
keeping it real with yourself is a lot harder than keeping it real with other people.
I know, and it's like it's like you can't show you can't show the shame, right? So it's just like, right? So we gotta deny. Right, and then we start denying. You do it long enough, right? Your body gets used to what it used to, and you just start denying to yourself.
You start believing the lie yourself.
Exactly,
and
man.
You forget. I was even just I was just watching this thing. I know this is slightly off topic, but I was hearing about the dude that they just made an Elvis movie, and the dude worked on trying to sound like Elvis for so long that when he got out of filming the movie, he had like he forgot what he sounded like and how he spoke.
Wow.
And it was dealing with those type of struggles and shit like that.
Yeah.
So same thing. Even fucking actors doing something as getting into a role for so long forget who they were as a person. I mean, so it doesn't have to be alcohol. It doesn't have to be yelling. It could be any aspect of life.
Right.
If you're not aware of it, if you're not having that self-control or that self-realization, self-awareness that you're doing something, and for every action there is a reaction, right?
Yeah. Man,
you're gonna get that. So
what I think about most is your man, the guy that played the dude that played the Joker,
Heath Ledger.
Like that, the path that he took playing the Joker, and like that's nutty, right? Like to play that type of character.
How much it affected your mental state.
Exactly. And that's all spiritual, man. You know what I'm saying? Like for the dude that was on the show, and not to talk about no depressing shit, but like the dude that was on Euphoria, right?
Angus.
You heard about dude Angus? Yeah.
Everybody said that was my twin or whatever, so I had to pay attention to him a little bit. Irish dude who grew up in Oakland.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? He did grow up in Oakland. I read that, but they talked about how he played a dark role and he was a happy person. That's you're internalizing that type of energy in one way or another, whether you like it or not, whether they're playing a role or just living real life. And so within that, like that's why I believe in the spiritual realm, because it's all energy, bro. Like it takes people down a dark road of dark thoughts, and it's the thoughts that consume us. That's the battle. That's where it's at, right? If we're not thinking good about ourselves, if we're not thinking good about life, and this continuing to blame our situation and everything else for it, and there's certain situations that people are in that they're stuck. It's tough to get out, you know what I'm saying? And like, there's a ton of people in a worse situation than I am, having to deal with the hood and dealing with, with just the gutters of the world, and just struggling to make ends meet, and third world countries, and like there's kids in Haiti, people in Haiti that are eating mud pies. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they don't have enough nourishment, and they get the nourishment from dirt. So then they get sick from eating the dirt because they don't have enough, nutrition. And that's all stuff that we take for granted. You know what I'm saying? It's not something, that's what 100%. I mean. It's like, even I am, right? So it's just something that, is something that we are aware of. It's something not really aware, but we know about it. I mean, we see it, but it's not something that applies to us. So therefore, we're not taking action on it. And that's something that I'm going to strongly encourage myself to do, is to take that, to take that for value, for something, and there's been things that happened to me in my life, I've lost my mom or whatever, and that's something that that's kind of put myself in awareness, but having that empathy and putting myself in other people's shoes, which is another reason why I love this podcast, and as to why I'm connected to it, of just being able to connect with other people and learn. Every time we get on here, I learned something new. Yeah, I learned something new.
I'm obsessed with it, yeah.
And it's become something that I do outside of this, as far as the way that I think about other people's behavior and what other people are going through. And I'd be like, you want to talk about that? You want to get on the podcast? You know what I'm saying? But people are afraid to talk about their feelings, right? I mean, that's the continued, that's the
they don't know how.
Right, because that shame,
and again,
right?
We've talked about shame, embarrassment.
Shame, but there's a lot of different reasons to why.
But it may also be something that you just weren't, that wasn't instilled in you. You weren't taught it. Your parents didn't open up with you.
You have to learn it. That's something that you have to learn.
Exactly. You have to be taught it. You have to learn it. You have to practice it. It's a muscle. It's a muscle that you have to work out, and it's not strong right off the bat.
Right.
It's a muscle that you have to find out that it's there. You have to find out what exercises make it stronger, and you have to start doing those exercises just like a muscle. And once you start doing that, you'll see that difference over time, and being able to do it more and more. And again, so that's why having, like we talk about, having these conversations with our kids the best way that we can. Obviously, we can't
Yeah.
break things down the way that we would with adults, but just having the conversations of letting them know that, you know, their home, and home can be wherever, but it's, you know, with the people, right?
Yeah.
At home with your family is your safe place, and you can
Yeah.
open up and talk about anything and everything here, and you will never, you should never have to worry about being judged,
Right.
being
Making
ridiculed,
mistakes.
being belittled.
Yeah.
You know, we are here to win or learn. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? We're not
And-
here
and
to.
that's
We're
it.
not losing over here.
No, and that's it. And it's like redefining the word failure, right? And a lot of us take that word and we put it in a negative connotation, and we let it affect our lives.
I
in
know I
that
did
same
growing
way.
up.
Me too. And like I said,
That was
36
that whole.
years of
If
it.
I'm not going to be the best, then I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Instead of doing it just to get better.
36 years of doing that, right? Of just looking at failure as a negative. And I came to the realization the other day, and I'm like, yo, life is about failure. We
100%.
fail every day. Whether that be a wrong decision that we make, you know what I'm saying? Like whether it was just a simple decision that we could have made differently, like that.
Yeah.
You know, we learn from that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, like, man, if only I would have taken that turn a little bit slower. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just constant because everything is our decisions. You know, we decide our actions, and
And it's something that we lose from when we're younger too, because you know, again, I think the way society is built for us, like we're not built to really explore ourselves and really learn, like you said, how to be yourself. There's no guide
layers.
to it, right?
Man, like,
because you got to
there's
think,
so
like
many
when we're
layers.
kids, when we're babies learning how to walk. You know, you get up and you got the wobbly legs and shit.
Yeah.
You know, you go to take a step and you fall down. It's not like the baby's like, all right, well, fuck it. I tried it. You know,
Right.
it didn't work out. Spend the rest of their life fucking not walking. You know,
Right.
you naturally have that built
Facts.
into you that I'm going to get up and I'm going to try that again. Oh, I almost had it. Oh,
man,
I did it.
Man, if
That's
the
how
world
it
could,
is.
yo, if the world could hear that one right there, because that representation, that analogy right there, is wow. That was beautiful, bro. Because like everyone can relate to that.
That's it.
Everyone.
We
can
were all
relate
babies
to
at
that.
one
We were
point,
all
right?
babies, right? We were all babies, and that's right. In our minds, we was like, I'm about to get up and walk again.
Exactly.
Right, until we started listening to the
Life
lies
over
and
time,
right?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Those exterior variables were like, man,
Yeah.
you know, you're tired.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
You know,
This
you
is
can
it.
have
Nah.
that drink.
Right
Oh,
now,
you can,
chill
you know,
out. Go ahead. You don't have to
Yeah.
get up. Just still on the couch. No,
This
you
is
suck.
comfortable. This feels
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you suck. It's okay to believe that
Yeah.
about yourself, right?
You're
it's
fat. Who cares?
Right?
You know, this,
Right.
it's always something allowing us to be. And I shouldn't have said, you know, you're fat or whatever. I'm not trying to single. You know, I'm just joking. But that's how it goes,
No,
man. It
but those
starts
are
off-
no for sure, bro. And we're talking about the voices that we have with each other, with ourselves,
Exactly.
right? And so we're not talking about, you know, the conversation that we're having with other people. This is the conversations that we literally have with ourselves, and we're our own enemy, right? You know, the
100%.
battle starts in our own mind, and the conversations that we're having with ourselves. You know, not the conversations that we're having with the outside world, because they're not the competition. You know, they're competing with themselves in a way that they don't even understand, and we're allowing them to affect, you know, our path. You know, it's really about the battle in our head, because it's mindset, man. Like it's really that because I'm in one person at a time, I guess, bro, because it's just like this awareness I'm getting. It's just like I wish that the world can feel what I'm feeling, right?
That's
You
what
know,
I'm
'cause,
saying,
you
bro.
know,
I'm
it's
so
like, I wish
obsessed
they-
with this.
Like,
It's like you
right.
said, every time we get on here, and whether it's you and I or even somebody else, even just having these type of conversations,
Man.
like you know, it's one of those things. Like once you open that first door, and you realize that there was a door to be opened, and then you pick your head up and you see that there's endless amounts of doors that could be opened.
Endless,
right?
man. And it's just
And
so much
so it's like
life.
once you realize that, you almost want to grab everybody you can and be like, yo, grab a door.
Yeah.
Like, let's just open all these fucking things up, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's where I'm at, man. With this podcast, putting these together, whether it's you or with somebody that comes on here or people that I just run into out there in the world,
Man.
I get that natural feeling of like, we should talk about this on the show because and I know this because it's not just a feeling that I get every time that we're done. Every single time we have somebody on here and we stop, they're always talking about how great that was, how good that felt. We got to do this again. I feel like I had more to say. There's almost that incomplete feeling, and all we're doing is talking about our feelings, talking about the stuff that we're dealing with every single day. We're not doctors, we're not therapists, psychiatrists, we're not doing anything. We're not performing open heart surgery. We're not doing anything crazy, other than opening up. That's it.
And you know what's crazy about that is that's literally what gives us some type of acceptance, some type of feeling of love, and that somebody's paying attention to me, and I think that's where this stems from, as to why we were able to like feel so great after it, and the guests that we've had were able to feel so great about it because we were able to talk about what was going on with us. A lot of the times in this world we're not able to do that. We're not able to really talk about ourselves or talk about what we have going on, talk about our opinion.
Not to this degree.
Without feeling judged or without feeling selfish or opinionated, right?
Embarrassed or shamed or, all those things.
Right. There's a lot of emotions that go into it that reframe us from actually being able to express how we feel about things, right? And it's a stand, bro. It's like we have to take a stand to ourselves,
100%.
to the enemy for sure. And but if we're not talking about a spiritual world, we have to stand against the conversations and the voices in our head.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be categorized as spiritual world because like you said before, not everybody feels that same way. But there, if you want to push spirituality or religion and all that type of stuff aside, you can still look at the acts that people are doing, the kindness that they're putting out there, the good energy, the good vibes, having good conversations. Again, it's just all goodness.
Yeah, that's what it is, and that's what it's about. And that's what it's all about.
For those people that aren't spiritual or aren't religious in that to that degree or anything like that, like you just said, it's just about being a good person and helping other people be good people.
Right.
And raising it's about yourself the energy. Up so that way you can help other people rise up, and when they rise up, they'll help you rise up, and that's it. Good energy, good positive vibes.
Yeah, it's about the energy that people exude, bro. That's really what it is. That's it.
That's it. So if some people want to go in the direction of God, other people just want to go in the direction of just good energy. Whatever it looks like for you, just head in that direction as opposed to that negative down talking. Absolutely. All that.
There's so much to this world that there's so much to offer. There's so much of the world to offer us. The world has so much to offer us in a way that we don't understand, in a way that we feel like we're incapable of, and that's why we always look at these celebrities and everybody else on this, and we put them on this pedestal.
Put them on a pedestal, yeah,
because they're able to experience a life that we all dream of, and like they're the same as us, and this is cliche, and this is what we get repeated more times after this. They're people just like us, they're humans just like us.
That's it.
It's just they just have a different mindset than everyone else. They're
just doing different things.
Right, they're doing different things, in which we should be. We're not all built to be doing the same things. We're supposed to be doing similar things, but we're all meant to be doing our own thing, so we can all be a piece of the puzzle. But it's that initial step of believing in ourselves. First step is believing in ourselves. The next step is the healing process, or vice versa, however it works. There has to be a process in healing because we're all hurt, bro. Like I said, there's so many layers to us that need healing. You know what I'm saying? There's every stage. Like we have to get to each stage. Like this path to freedom. No, it's not easy, but that's why everyone can't.
But it gets easier the more you start paying attention, and the more you start heading in that direction, you start taking those baby steps to it. It doesn't have to be that full sprint.
Man, look, going back to the cripple, going back to the baby, like being like I would say cripple, being a baby, and I was going to say crawling to walk, and then learning how to walk, and then learning to run from there, and then your body is become used to it. It's become adapted
Exactly.
to it, right? It's become routine now. And, you know, they say, you know, that energy, you start attracting more of that energy. I mean, energy is attractive, right? It's influence.
100%.
You
Negative
know,
or positive.
exactly.
What
right?
you put out there, whether, I mean, and that's why I love this book, The Key to Living the Law of Attraction
Yeah.
by Jack Canfield, I think. I told you about that book.
Yeah.
It's an amazing book for anybody out there listening. I encourage you to check it out. The Key to Living the Law of Attraction, because it talks about this type of stuff that we're saying right now. Putting out that good positive energy, putting out into the world what you want, and not that negative talk, not that
man.
negative stuff. So get rid of that negative talk, whether it's with yourself, with other people. It may sound silly, but if you just make that small difference of just being positive or talking positively, whether it's about yourself or about other people, just don't say anything negative. I guarantee you that little bit is going to, that's that first baby step that's going to get you to start running to the speed and in the direction that you need to.
Yeah, your body gets used to what it gets used to, and that's everything you do. If you're used to sitting on the couch, that's what your body's used to. You know, that's why it's hard to get off the couch. If you're at the gym every day, your body's used to being at the gym. Your body wants to be at the gym. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in everything that we do, you know. And so it's about building those appropriate habits and establishing those the healthy routines, so we can inch our way closer to being free. You know, because that's what
the goal.
We're restricted. It's like we're in jail, mind jail.
Yeah,
You know, it's like and we're none of us. A lot of us aren't free. I mean, we see the celebrities, we think that they're free, but a lot of them aren't. A lot of celebrities aren't free either.
Exactly.
You know, they're just wealthy.
I would say 99% of them aren't free.
Yeah, man. Like, and so that's why we got to stop comparing ourselves to them and be in a mindset that's going to allow us, you know, to be our best selves, man. And that means like setting like small goals for ourselves and attaining them, man. And that's where we get that satisfaction, that dope rush. You know what I'm saying? We get that's where that natural dopamine, you know, flows through and surges through our body.
The good dope rush.
A good dope rush. That's why I call it dope rush. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna redefine some words around here. You know,
That's right. I like that. Yeah.
You know, it's a dope rush. It's just kind of like, you know, after I work out, you know, and then, you know, you just get that natural feeling of dopamine, and you just feel good about life. You're in a good mood. You're in a better mood. You're ready to attack it. You're more productive. You know, you got more energy. You got more positive energy surging for, because energy is everything. If you don't have
that's
energy,
when you'll start getting back too.
Absolutely. If you don't
think about it, when you
have
go somewhere and you give somebody attitude, what do you get back?
attitude, yeah.
Right? But what happens when you go to a store? I got this fly in my face. What happens when you go to a store and like say you go to the grocery store and the person that's working there is in the best mood. They're super hyped up, super happy. Everything's all good. They're bagging your groceries, ringing everything out, talking to you about this and that and stuff. And you know, they say, all right, hey, thank you very much. Have a great day. And you're walking away. You got a little smile on your face.
Yeah,
just
you're like,
from an encounter that you had at the grocery store line.
It's easy. It's
that
so,
simple.
It's so simple. It really is. And we naturally appreciate it. You know, like I see it every day. You know, being a trainer. Like, oh, how you doing? Oh, how are you? Literally, oh, I'm good. Thank you for asking. It's like, oh wow, right? And it's like, and it leaves a good feeling. I mean, it's a short feeling, but it leaves a positive feeling. The positive feeling resonates.
But say if you have 20 short feelings throughout the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just a constant good
it's like a penny,
pick me
right?
up
You know
every
what I'm saying?
time.
It keeps on adding up. It adds up for sure. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to be angry, man? No one wants to be angry. Right?
You know that was part of my big turnaround that changed my mindset towards life. Was I was tired of being angry.
It's consuming.
Had a self-placed chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And I was just angry all the time of it. And I just got tired, bro. I got so tired of just living that. It was a different type of facade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, think about it. It's energy, right? And it's draining. Negative energy is draining, while positive energy is uplifting. It's encouraging.
It's so
you know what I'm saying? Unless you're angry, right? You know, angry is a different type of explosive energy, and we all need to learn how to channel that. I'm still learning how to channel my anger as well.
Reactive energy.
Yeah. I mean, yes. You know, channeling that and using it for something good, versus, you know, bottling up and, you know, exploding on somebody or something.
But again, same thing. That starts with self-awareness.
Yeah, awareness is key.
It starts off as unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But you're aware of it now. So now it's conscious incompetence. And the more that you address it, the more that you're aware of it, the more that you continue to work on it, then it becomes that conscious competence.
Yeah.
Right? And you continue to do it more, you adopt it into your everyday life, your habits and how you approach things, right? The more you do it, and then it becomes unconscious competence.
Yeah.
So, but again, it all starts with unconscious incompetence. We don't know what we don't know.
Right.
Right.
So that's where a lot of us are at, is getting people to get to that second stage where we're stuck in stage
See those
one.
doors. See those doors. They're there.
Man,
that's why we're here, man. That's why these podcasts are here, to show people that those doors are there. We're that beacon of light for people to let them know, hey, we're guiding in those airplanes that are flying out there in the dark. Yeah. Like, hey, come on over here. We got the light.
Yeah, man. And that's it. That's it right there. And I just feel so. I feel so empowered, man. Like I'm taking control of my life in a way that is going to bring me the most success. You know what I'm saying? And I talk about success and happiness.
How do you feel now? We're what, 2.5 months into doing these podcasts. How do you feel now in comparison to when you first started?
Oh man, obviously
I feel like a completely different person.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get on here, you know, it's comfortable now, right? And it's like,
but
you know,
my overall mindset
crazy
towards other people and my goals in life, my purpose that I feel like that I have, because, you know, not to get jump started on a whole nother topic, but ever since we started doing this, and like we were saying, every time we come on, more people that we come on, the more conversations that we're having, it again opened that one big door for me to realize that this is. There's a secret sauce here, right? You know, we got something going on here, and like you said, not everybody is aware of it. So now I feel like that my purpose is to make as many people aware as possible. And like I was saying, you know, from where I started where I was at when we first started this to where I'm at now, I feel like I've grown so much.
Just as a person in general, absolutely.
Just as a person in general, I almost feel selfish if I didn't ask people to come on the show and talk about this type of stuff. If I didn't want to have these conversations with people, I feel like I would be being selfish because I've grown that much. It's like, you guys have to get in on this.
Man, and I feel like even today, what I saw today was just even more so the reason why that this needs to happen, because I'm so connected to it in a different way. I've learned so much. This is like a platform to learn, right?
I mean, I've learned just as much as I did when I was in school in the 2.5 months that we've been doing this.
Dude, there's something to take from everyone. There's something that you can learn from every single person and apply it to something that you have going on in your life. Man, in some shape or form, there is something that you can learn from somebody that was going to 100%. Make your life better. That's going to improve your overall quality of life. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's about seeking it, right? You know, that getting from that unconscious incompetence to that conscious incompetence, and like that's the first step. I mean, if we can get people there, then that's golden. You know, exactly. That opens the floodgates right there, because it's that just being aware of the possibilities that are in this world, and to see how restricted and like small-minded in the greatest way, right? In the most harmless way, lack of a better word. It's just not just where their mind is at and what they've been taught and what their beliefs are, and just not understanding that there's so much more the world has to offer us. It's actually mind-blowing, and I think it's so crazy to me. I feel so sorry. I feel like it breaks my heart to see like people
Yeah.
believe that type of stuff about themselves, right? To
Yeah.
believe that they aren't capable of more.
I'm useless. I'm a
Yeah,
nobody. Nobody
and-
cares about me or my problems.
Right. And to
I
see it
can't do anymore.
exactly. And like we talked about, we know it's out there, but to experience it firsthand is something different. And I'm getting that experience through this process of actually seeing people that are believing these things, meeting people that are believing these things about them, right? And there's a lot of people out there that are like that. I mean, but they're unable to have that. Well, there's that other problem of being able to communicate, to express, or learning how to express in itself, right? And so, man, there's just so much to unveil here, man. There's so much to
Layers,
learn here.
like you
There's so
said.
man, it's just so many people that so many people out there that we need to reach, and we're not going to be able to reach everyone. That's obvious, but it's just like.
But
It's so-
if
it's
we
like,
can reach
man,
somebody,
Man, it's just like I wish I could. It's like I wish everyone listened.
Right.
Believe what I'm
but
saying.
if we can reach somebody that does reach everybody, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
you know, if we reach somebody that reaches this many people, we reach
Yeah.
10 people that reach 10 more people. Like that's how
Yeah.
it goes, man. That's
Yeah,
how
man.
it that's how it goes. That's how it grows. That's how we all heal. That's how we all get better. That's how we all
Man.
grow. A community of healing. That's why I keep putting it on there, man. A community of healing, community of growing, and you know we all are looking to be a part of a community of some sort, anyways, right? It's built into our DNA
Yeah.
is to belong. Tribalism, right? We all
Yeah.
are looking to be a part of a tribe. Why not let that tribe be of positive things? Whether
Yeah.
it's God, whether it's just being a positive person, doing positive things, working out.
Yeah.
Helping others, service to others, whatever it is, just positive things, man. That's where it's
Dang,
at.
man, and see, and this is another nugget, man, that I'm taking from this, because that just gave me, another idea, on this fitness journey that I'm embarking on as well, and that just right there, what you said, just light bulb means something that I just learned and I became aware of, like, man, like I need to do this fitness thing for other people, man, like not for myself, only just myself, but I need to connect with people in the fitness realm as well. That just gave me a nugget.
100%.
And it's just like, man, stop being selfish. Like, get your stop being selfish. Get your ass in the gym, and document this shit like I've been wanting to
I was
document
just gonna
it.
say, do it, man. You inspire people.
Man,
You know,
man,
I
and-
know you've heard that before. You are a passionate person. People generally take to your energy. So yeah, I mean, and you're an in shape dude, man. I don't know if you've ever looked in the mirror or not, man, but you got some muscles here and there. You're in good
it's
shape.
crazy. It's crazy. I'm not trying to toot my own horn because I've been off the weights for a while, but we have this in body at the Y, and I was like 10% body fat the other day. So
Hey.
I was like right on, man. So you know what I'm saying? So I told you, I feel like I just have all of the pieces together, man. It was just that one habit change that I need to modify, and there's it's a process.
Our
right?
mindset, isn't it so
It's-
crazy that one
The thoughts.
little thing can just turn right here,
Right.
and you look at everything different.
Just like it's just like right. It's like a button. It's just projection. It's
that little
boom.
one.
It's
Because
like-
if you can apply this type of mindset, these type of practices, if you can apply it to one thing, you can apply it to everything. You just
Yeah.
got to figure out how to look at it and dissect it
man.
in that way.
Yeah.
Reverse engineer it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, for yourself. So
Yeah. I feel
Again,
like I broke new ground. I feel like I entered a new level, and my prayer and hope is for everyone else to follow us on this journey, of freedom, mental freedom, man, and just being happy, with it all, because happiness is everything. And once we start pursuing this life, I'm talking about the people as a whole, pursuing this life of bettering themselves mentally and physically, ultimately you'll reap what you sow. You know what I'm saying? The rewards will come just
Exactly.
from that in itself. And
Yeah.
I feel like even for myself, trying to perform, trying to be on this level of performance, you know what I'm saying, so I can get X amount of dollars, has put me in a position of, in a pool of distraction, right? I
Yeah.
noticed that because I was kind of like wanted to perform so I can get to point B, it was distracting me even more than it would if I was just trying to better myself on a daily basis. I've noticed it.
Exactly.
Right. I've noticed that, like, even talking to Matt about it, it's just like, man, like, performance. Stop trying to perform. Like, just be present. Try and serve people. Be a good person. Have good energy, and just continue to better yourself physically.
Sounds exactly like what I was saying with my drawing.
Yeah,
right.
Bro.
Stop being so focused on that one aspect of something, and do the best that you can do with it.
Yeah,
for you.
Exactly. Not just for you now, for everyone else that appreciate it. And everyone, stop being so selfish, Sean.
I was hoping you were going to turn it back around. I was trying to focus on you. This is your time, Kyle. All right, we're talking about you right now.
But no, I feel like I've reached a different level of freedom. There's layers of it.
That's awesome, man.
And my prayer is for everyone to start, reaching new levels to their greatness. Getting to and from that unconscious to that conscious, and man, it's just trying to just pursue a life of happiness, man, and that in itself is a blessing.
We all deserve it,
man, and
we can all achieve it too. That's the thing.
That's the
Some
thing.
people will say, we all deserve it, but we're not all going to get it. We can.
We
really can,
and we have to believe that. We have to believe that, man. So again, I thank you for jumping on with me and allowing me to reveal my truth. Giving me the opportunity to heal. We can reveal to heal, absolutely, man.
Myself as well.
Yeah, man. And I just can't wait to be able to, connect with other people, man. Like this is it, bro. Whoever's listening, man.
This is a platform for anybody and everybody, and this is how I can break it down to get people to realize that either you are unhappy in some aspect of your life, some way, shape, or form, you can come on here and talk about it. If you're happy in all aspects of your life, you got it figured out, you are just killing it, you can come on here and talk about it, because other people are going to want to know how you went about that shit.
Woo!
Right?
Hey.
So this is literally a platform for everybody.
Yo, listen, and hey, man, you throw some nuggets out there today, bro, and that's a heavy one too. That's a heavy one too. You're either unhappy and or you're happy, and either way, someone can relate or learn from it. Man,
absolutely,
huge. Thank you for watching, world. I hope you guys tap and tune into this one and all of them, man. There's new levels. We keep on reaching new levels, and we want you to reach those new levels with us.
Love it. Till next time. Thanks, everybody.